All right, welcome to One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you guys for joining us tonight on Monday, March 18th. Where is the time going? I do not know. We've had the spring forward. I didn't really care for that. I don't know about any of you guys, but I could have always used an extra hour of sleep. But there's been a lot going on here, and I'm sure there's a lot going on where you are. But tonight we are having somebody that's coming on the program that I've been trying to get on here for a while, and we're going to have her come on here and share a little bit about her article in the magazine, as well as the things that have been going on over this busy senior year, as well as what's getting ready to take place in the rest of the year in the future. So, you know what? And here's the funny thing, uh, Erin. I'm going to wait to pronounce your last name because I want to make sure we get it right. I don't want to butcher it. So, without that, we've got Erin from Russellville High School. I'm going to have her come on and welcome, Erin. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, so I let the cat out of the bag. I have always forgot to ask you what is your how do you pronounce your last name?
It's pronounced Schreer.
Schreer. Okay. So that's probably what I would have guessed, but then I doubted myself. So I thought I better ask to make sure. So um, what's been going on with you?
Not much. I've had a lot of basketball, and after that, I've just been working, and now I'm managing for baseball. So,
Okay. You just don't like to not be busy, right?
yeah, I do not like being bored.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your article in Sports Soccer Magazine and what did you enjoy about that and how many autographs did you sign?
I signed zero autographs,
Oh, zero.
but
Come on.
yeah, I know. So my article I thought was really long, and I was not expecting it to be that long. But I think that everything, all the questions that I answered were put in there perfectly, and I really liked the way it flowed and all of that.
Well, you did a great job, and we thought it was definitely very interesting. And I've got lots of questions tonight off of that, so we'll make sure we get into that. Um, you just said you're managing baseball now, but you're a multi-sport athlete, and you play both basketball and softball. Just got done with basketball here not too long ago. But what have you enjoyed about those two sports during your high school career?
I enjoy just staying active, honestly, but also the connections that you make doing these sports. They're really fun because you just end up laughing a lot and you don't ever think of, oh, what else would I be doing just sitting at home? But whenever you sit back, you're like, wow, I'm so glad I made those friends and those connections.
Well, yes. And here's the funny thing too. I'm just looking. You said sitting at home. Um, I don't know if that's where you are, but we almost have the exact same background. You guys must be using the same paint. You must be using the same paint that we were using.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's good. Um, so you just finished with basketball. Why don't you tell us about how the season went and did it meet your expectations? How'd that go for you as a team and an individual?
Yeah, so I love my teammates this year. Like I've always loved my teammates, but this group is really, really fun. So it's really hard to have a bad day whenever you come into basketball because it's almost always you're laughing at something or someone does something just absolutely hilarious. But basketball wise, I think that we played really well together this year, and it's kind of sad how it ended, but I guess all things have to end at some point, but I we had so much talent on that team, and I'm so glad to be a part of that.
Well, why don't you talk a little bit about how it ended? Explain that for some of our viewers that maybe want to know a little bit of information on how your season went toward the end.
Yeah, so we lost in second round of districts, I believe, to a team that we did beat three times in advance, but you you know, it's hard to beat a team four
It
times
is.
and
It is.
they came Lynn came prepared and they definitely deserved that win, but
Hmm.
it was
It's
very
still
sad
hard.
how it ended.
Yeah.
Yes.
You almost want to trade one of those wins earlier in the year for that one, right?
Yeah, totally.
They won't let us do that though, will they?
Unfortunately not.
All right. Hey, well, we've got several people that are joining us watching. Anybody that has comments that you want to make about Erin, please feel free to do that in the comment section, and we can, or if you have a question, we might be able to pop that in here on the program as well. So we've got a lot to get to and a lot to cover. Why don't you tell us about how you got started in basketball and what was your inspiration? Who and what was your inspiration for that?
So the only reason I ever even started basketball was because of my cousin, and as it was quoted in the article, my built-in best friend, Ella Volkart. Uh, I was a girly girl when I was really little, and I got the little flyer to go to this little minis basketball camp that my uncle was hosting because he was the Russellville girls basketball coach at the time. I took that to Ella, and I was like, I'm not going to this. And she was like, oh, well, I am. My dad's making me. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go. And then ever since then, I've just been playing basketball. So I guess you could say that my family is my inspiration for basketball.
Yeah, and that was in your article too. You talked about that, and we'll get into that question a little bit more. But you were talking about you have a big history of athletics in your family. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we've got Carla Joe Schroer. She's on here saying, "Go, Erin! Schroer girls rock."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's just representing, or you're representing tonight. So that's great. Thanks for joining us, Carla. All right. So I want to ask you, did you accomplish some of your personal and team goals? I mean, I know it didn't end the way you wanted to, but did for your senior season, did you accomplish some of those goals?
Yeah, so one of my personal goals was to just enjoy it because I would say that I've never been like the best at basketball. I was never the best on the team. So it was kind of hard at times to enjoy it because I always just felt like I was messing up and letting down people or letting people down. But my goal this year was to enjoy it because it's my last, and I did actually accomplish that. So,
Well, good. Well, I know you did because there is a question I have later on here that kind of talks a little bit about that. Some shenanigans, I don't know, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. But uh, what did you appreciate most about your teammates in basketball?
their ability to have fun. They never stop laughing. It's like honestly kind of a clown show sometimes, but they almost no matter what. Yes, there's times we get mad because we're losing. Yes, there's times we always felt really, really down because we lost or whatever. But in the end, we came to practice and we would laugh, even though we were dying from conditioning. But
Well, yeah, we'll get to that part here in just a moment about the coaches, and what you appreciated about them. But it doesn't sound like conditioning was one of those things, was it?
no.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. How did your coaches inspire you? Tell us about them. How'd they inspire you to play better, and some of the things that you really appreciate?
Yeah, so my coach Brian Bishop, he something I really really just envy about him is his grit. Like this guy does not know how to quit. It is built into him to just keep going and always keep fighting through, and he always made sure to tell us that we should be doing the same. If you're playing basketball and you're not trying, you're not doing it right. So he just always pushed that onto us, and I think it really helped us at times. We had to dig down deep and find that in us. But our assistant coach, Sydney Norner, she is just the sweetest human being ever. And I love her so much. She is a hard worker and she balanced so many things this season. And even though it was really hard for her, it's amazing how much she was doing for us.
So tell us about some of the conditioning. We want to hear what was it that was. I mean, tell people the typical part of conditioning. What were some of the drills and some of the things you had to do?
Well, in past years, we hadn't really conditioned all that much. This year, we all wanted to change, but Brian specifically wanted that to happen. So the like second practice, he made us do a ladder starting at like 15 touches or something, and we had to go like I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like 11 touches, 9 touches, 5, whatever. And we were dying. And once we got done, we were like, what was that? And then we consistently did 21 and 5, which is a free throw drill that we always did at the end of practice, where we had to make 21 free throws like within 5 minutes. But if one of your teammates misses one out of two, then they have to run a half court touch. And then if they miss both of them, you have to run a hold down and back. And you have to do that while you're trying to get it in 5 minutes. And that was a lot of running at times.
Yes. All right. The ladder, tell us a little bit more about the ladder one, because I've not heard that one. Tell me about that, what that means, what that is.
Yeah, so I don't believe we were timed. We only ever did this once this year. So you would start and we would split up on sides and we would run 15 touches. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until like 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would take a break, only a certain amount of break. And then we would do the next lowest number of touches. And it would just get smaller and smaller, but you would also get more and more tired. So it was just death.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I get it. Conditioning. That was probably not fun, but you probably were in condition after you got done after about what, 4, 5, 6 days. I don't know.
Yeah. It was worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And especially you as a guard, you probably were having to push the ball up and down the court at times
That's
pretty
actually,
quickly.
that's one of my favorite parts. I am not really much of a rebounder, so instead of rebounding, I would just run to the other end, and then I would get the ball and make, or sometimes miss layups, which that's okay though.
Everybody misses layups. Michael Jordan missed a layup occasionally. He usually tried dunking it, but everybody misses layups, so you're all right. What was your favorite shot on the court?
Oh my gosh. Probably the layup. I don't shoot much because I'm not really confident in my form, and I would say that I wouldn't make it that often, but I do enjoy layups even though I miss a lot of them.
You were you more of the facilitator, passing the ball around?
Oh yeah, for sure. I passed it every chance I got, which created more turnovers, but I also had a ton of good passes too,
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Very good. Were you a specialist on defense?
people might say that. I Ever since I was little, my family has been like saying, like commenting on like how my long arms help me get steals. So I've had quite a few steals in my career.
Oh, good. All right, we have a comment from Jenny Brandt. She says, "Go, Erin. We love you."
Thanks,
Awesome.
Jenny.
Thanks, Jenny. What's your favorite moment in basketball during your high school career?
Oh my goodness. There's so many,
Well,
like too many
you
to
can add more
count.
than one. You feel free.
Well, for one, I'm not going to go in depth on this one, but we had a pretty hilarious pre-game pep talk my sophomore year for districts. Want to thank my younger cousin Jenna for that one, but I won't go into too much depth about that one. Um, Other than that, we had a lot of fun times when our coach Brian Bishop would like do the drill with us or like practice with us. One time he like kind of rolled his ankle, but it was really just his shoe, and it looked like he snapped his ankle
Ooh,
off. But and he's blocked my older cousin or my younger cousin Ella multiple times. It's funny.
yeah,
There's too many to count. You had to be
yeah.
there.
Well, kind of like you said, you went into this year anyway with the mindset to have fun, but it sounds like you had fun most of the time anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. And speaking of fun, how much fun was it during home games to have family, fans, faculty, student support? How much fun was that?
It was actually a lot of fun. It's super fun whenever the student section gets involved and like cheers for you. But there's no better feeling than hitting that shot or making like forcing a turnover for the other
Hmm.
team and just hearing your family and the rest of the crowd cheer for you because you're
Hmm.
helping out.
Yeah, well, good. It kind of amps you up a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to break, so I'm going to go ahead and do this real quick. Yes, you made the cover. There you are.
Oh yeah.
You're on there, and so, you know, really, people should have been asking for your autograph. You could have put it right up in there. You just been,
I should have.
I know, said doing like a fundraiser, and just tell people, hey, this is to help me with my future career, snacks, whatever. You can, whatever you want to come up with, you can do that. But took some great photos. I mean, that's really awesome. And I know that Katie tries to be creative, and you did really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Not look, you did really good. Not looking at the ball, you just flung it up there like a pro. You were good. And then
Yep.
let's see, we got a couple more. We've got this one right here, playing in the field. Why don't you tell before we'll get to this in a minute, but what position did you play in softball? I know didn't you say you played a couple?
Oh yeah. So I started out as a freshman in left, and I did that in JV freshman year, but my sophomore year I actually got to play left in varsity. And
Hmm.
then my junior year I also played left. But then my senior year we had not that many people on our team, so there
Hmm.
was a lot of switches that
Hmm.
had to happen. So I ended up I the plan was for me to stay in center field all year, but due to an injury, I ended up having to come in and play short,
Hmm.
which I have not played shortstop since I was in like 7th, 6th grade or something like that. So it was different.
Yeah. But you have a good coach, and we'll get to him later. But you have a good coach who helped you out with all of that, so that's good. One more picture we've got in here, and as you guys can see, there's a QR code right here, and also a QR code right on the front. I'm trying to get this the right direction. It's doing it the opposite. So QR code right there, and in the article, and I don't know if people know this, but you can take your phone and scan that, and it will actually bring a video up of when we were doing your photo shoot, as well as um, some different pictures and stuff like that. So just some extra content that we like to throw in there. All right, Erin, you're doing a great job. This has been awesome so far. We've got a whole nother segment to do, but right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, okay?
Okay.
Services has been connecting employees with employers since 1977. Recently, CNS rebranded to CNS Employment Solutions to more clearly define their mission of serving the needs of applicants, employees, and businesses while remaining current and evolving with the changes in the workforce. One important thing has not changed. CNS Employment Solutions partners with a wide variety of employers, placing employees in jobs that match their skills and needs.
Say yes to CNS.
Okay, CNS Employment Solutions right here in Jefferson City, Missouri. They do an outstanding job with making sure that employers get employees that they need, and people that are looking for jobs, they try to link them up with those employers needing employees. So they have a very talented staff and crew over there, and they work very hard for people right here in mid-Missouri. So we appreciate them in sponsoring this program as well as the magazine. That's CNS Employment Solutions. As well as we have Big Whiskeys. They are our sponsor for Coach of the Issue. And, usually I can get it pulled right up, and we will try to do that here. And obviously, I wasn't as fast as I thought I would. But Coach of the Issue, and we have each issue, we have a different coach that we feature. In this past issue, we had Leslie Verslois from Helias Catholic. And the importance of this, and I think you can tell it by what Erin's been telling us about how important coaching is for her, that we have some coaches that put in a ton of time right here in all of our schools that we cover, as well as all across, Missouri and across the nation. But they put in a lot of time. They're away from their families. They're pouring into our kids. And so we want to just thank Big Whiskeys for just giving a shout out to those coaches and all the hard work that they do. So again, we want to thank you for our sponsors, and we want to thank Erin for joining us tonight on One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. Erin, doing a great job. And like I said, we've been trying this for a while, but you had basketball tournament, I think, a couple of times, and then you had districts coming up, and then we got really busy with all the stuff that we had going on. We did 55 photo shoots 2 weeks ago, got those all ready for the magazines for the end of the year. And plus, we're getting the March, April issue out. So it's been a lot going on. And you've had a lot going on. And the one
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and the one thing that you have told us so far is that you like to keep busy, but you did mention that you have probably a preferred sport, and that's softball. Why is that?
I'm not really sure, but I think other than the fact that my dad and one of my older brothers were very baseball centered, other than that, I think that it's because I'm naturally more talented at softball than at basketball. I've always felt more successful in softball. So I would say that would be why.
Okay. One thing that we didn't mention when we asked what positions you play is you're fast, obviously, because you played center field, and you probably like to run a lot now, which we don't know because you were just talking about conditioning. I don't know, but where did you usually bat in the lineup?
It changed every year because I improved every year. So it was like 8th or 9th my sophomore year, and then 6th my junior year. And then this year I actually batted second.
Okay. You were somebody that tried to get on the base.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My job was to bunt and get on base so that I could get hit in.
Okay. Did you ever hit a home run?
Oh, no. Almost. I really
Uh-huh.
wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah. I played baseball in high school and college, but then I played slow pitch softball, and I would get a home run every once in a while, and it would just barely clear over the fence. And I had this one guy on our team, and I mean, he would hit bombs, I mean, way over the fence. But he would always call me warning track power. So it's like, hey, I don't care. It made it over. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's a home run is a home run.
A home run is a home run, whether it's over the fence or whether it's running around. And did you ever have any of those in the park home runs?
I don't think so.
Okay. Usually after those, we're pretty tired.
Yeah.
It's a lot of running all at once.
You have to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to this part. You talked about your teammates and joking around with them. What kind of shenanigans were you guys up to?
90% of the time it was making fun of Coach Branson. We had endless inside jokes about the crazy things he would tell us or the things that we did, and we would find every tiny detail to like poke fun at him. And it created a really fun environment.
One thing I really, really appreciate about Coach Branson is his haircut. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
We're just more aerodynamic. That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah, he says there's only a few people with perfect heads out there, and that's why they're bald.
That's awesome. I like that. It's good. One of the other things you talked about your teammates, you enjoyed cheering them on as well as them cheering you on. Tell us a little bit about that. What did that look like?
Just screaming as loud as physically possible right next to them. Me and my other senior on the softball team, Mackenzie Lindenbrink, we were really loud. So we would make up these crazy, like, I guess nicknames sometimes, and other times just annoying yelling things to do while our teammates were up to bat. But we would also do, for a quality at bat is what Branson called it. We would call it a quab. And so if you can picture the seagulls from Nemo saying mine whenever it's
Uh-huh.
all overlap. That's what
Uh-huh.
we would do we would be like quab and say that over and over again.
Okay. Yes, and I'm sure that it was possibly annoying to the other team. Maybe I don't know.
That was the goal.
Is that what the goal is? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Uh, so tell us about the bond that you had with your teammates, and what do you miss? What are you going to miss about that?
Like I said before, their ability to have fun and to joke around. If I could not imagine what my high school career would have looked like if everybody was uptight and did not know how to let loose. There were times where it was serious and not as fun, but like for the most part, everybody was always laughing.
Okay, so what's your favorite comedy? Because apparently you love to laugh. What's the favorite comedy movie?
I don't really have one. I mostly just laugh at my own jokes.
Okay. Have you ever watched Tim Hawkins?
Yes, he's the
I love
funniest.
him.
I used to watch him when I was younger. He was
Yeah,
the funniest guy.
he is hilarious. Yep. All right. You did talk about Coach Tim Rulo in your article and how much he's helped you with strength and conditioning, but you also mentioned some other things about him. What have you appreciated about him, and what have you learned?
Yeah, so Coach Rulo is not only my strength and conditioning coach, but he is also my FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He's our leader for that. And so every other Friday, we get to go in and he has a little Bible study for us Christian athletes, and he does such a good job with it. And I really look up to him for his ability to be such a great Christian and to influence the students of the school.
Now, do you have a particular position that you hold in FCA?
FCA is not very developed at Russellville, so it's kind of just a whole group of kids. We don't
Hmm.
really have ranks or anything,
Hmm.
but I did happen to lead a fifth quarter event this
Hmm.
fall or last fall. And that's just where it was a safe Christian place for kids to hang out Friday
Hmm.
night after a football game and just have fun and talk about Jesus a little bit.
Very good. All right. Well, we've talked about Coach Rulo, good man, but there's another good man that we need to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about Coach Branson and how impactful he's been to you, and what you've done, and what do you admire most about him?
I admire his, which is this is gonna sound strange, but I admire his attitude. There's something about the way he holds himself that seems cocky at times, but is just confidence, and he knows where he stands, and he's not gonna let people push him over in that fact, and he's going to work hard and have the grit to get where he wants to go.
For the period of time that I've known him, we've done this magazine almost 9 years. Well, we're in our ninth year now, but he seems like he is busy all of the time. He coaches baseball, he coaches softball. At one time, I know he was driving the bus. I don't know if he does that anymore. Uh, he
Oh
was
yeah.
he was refereeing, and then everything else that he does. So that's a busy man.
Yes, he has a lot to juggle. You almost can never even catch him at school because he's running around doing everything all the time.
And on top of that, he's a great groundskeeper because I don't know how many times I've seen him out there working on that baseball softball field.
Yeah, his that field is his baby.
Yeah.
He takes real good care of that, and it's his pride and joy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it looks great all the time. He does a good job with it, and I'm sure you guys appreciate it being able to play on it. So,
oh
all
yeah.
right. So, what are as far as some of the things that you've learned from him, and again, some of the things that you've admired? How are you going to be able to apply that in your own life? Maybe taking some of those qualities.
Um, he the sorry, the grit factor is probably what I'm gonna take. He really made it a point to let us understand that you have to control the things that you can control, and everything else that you can't control you need to let go. So that is a big thing in sports, especially because you never know what the umpires are going to call, you never know what the refs are going to call, and you can't control what they say, and there's no point of arguing or letting that get to your head. And that can go into my future life, because there's going to be things in the world that I'm not going to be able to control, and I'm just going to have to let that roll off my back and hope that God works it out for us in the end. But that's what I admire the most about him.
Oh, that's great. And I know that I would not say that he's anybody that holds favorites, just from what I've seen, but he seems to try to reach out to everybody and hold everybody, to that level, same level of accountability, it seems to me, from what I've witnessed. Would you say that that's true?
I would say that that's true. It doesn't matter who you are, how you play, even if you don't get along with him, he's still going to hold you accountable for making mistakes, and it's all out of a good place. He just wants
Hmm.
everybody to do better and to get better.
Sure, that's good. Um, I want to cover this real quick. So we talked about you were a point guard in basketball, and then you said this year you had to go and play shortstop. That's kind of the point guard on the ball field as well. So tell a little bit about the position and what some of your responsibilities were and things that you looked for during the game.
So I had seen my um older friend, I guess you would call her, on the softball team. I had watched her all my 3 years of high school, Josie Stewart, play shortstop. And I always kind of admired that because she was such a leader on the team, and she always knew where to throw it and where to go with the ball and how to communicate with her teammates on where to go. And so luckily, I had such a good example before me that I could kind of try to copy off of. But shortstop was pretty hard. There was a lot of things to think about, and I think I did a fine job. At times I could have done much better, but that's gonna happen if you're starting a new position.
What's your favorite play when you're playing shortstop?
Play? I don't know.
Did you do a lot of double plays?
I did not. I tried, but it didn't work.
Well, it's in softball, it is a little bit different in baseball. I mean, the bases are a little bit longer in baseball, so there's just a fraction, a little bit more time. I mean, as you know, they're getting down the base pass pretty quick.
Oh yeah. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fast girls that play softball.
Did you have any collisions when you were playing shortstop, like runners running into you?
Um, I don't honestly, I don't remember. I don't really think so.
That would be
Not
called a
playing short.
that would be called a concussion. No, I'm just kidding.
That is
uh,
true.
so did you have collisions in the outfield when you were running into fielders going for the ball?
I I don't
That's
really
that's
know. My
good. No,
memory's
it's good
my
if you did.
memory is failing me. There's been times where it was close, and there's been times where I've made a mistake, and then my center fielder kind of slipped in the mud behind me because it got that far. But other than that, I can't really remember a specific time where I ran into anybody
That's good.
or I myself ran to the fence.
That's good because you were obviously more in control of yourself than I was because I it seemed like I was running into people a lot. I don't know why. All right, hey, we had a comment from Caden Cook. He said, "Yeah, baby, we love you." There we go. All right, next one. We've got what did you I want to talk about your family. Tell us about them. How important have they been to your development and how have you appreciated their support?
They've been really, really supportive, and they've always been there. They're actually watching me right now, and I can hear my mom laughing at me.
Uh-huh.
So that's awesome. But like I said in my article, um, every sports game, athletic game that I've ever had is like a family reunion, because there's almost always at least one other cousin that is playing. So I have my grandma, my grandpa, probably two uncles and aunts there, and then my parents there, of course, and a lot of the times older cousins that have come back, and even younger cousins who haven't even like haven't played yet, they're there too. So it's everybody's always there, and that could be hard at times because you don't want to let them down, which was one of my struggles. I never wanted to let them down, but I really enjoyed them being there to support me. I would
Mhm.
have it no other way.
Yeah. You had mentioned that in your article. You said, at the end of the day, my goal is simple, to make my grandparents and parents proud.
Yes.
Uh, and I'm sure you have definitely done that. Not only on the court and on the ball field, but I know that you have obviously done that in life, just because of the person that you are. So I think right now they would all be in agreement, and not laughing at you right now in the other room. They would all be in agreement and say, yes, we're very proud of her. Tell us about your mom and dad. Tell us about Ben and Debbie, being supportive for you. What have you learned from them, and what do you appreciate about them?
Yeah, so I am very thankful for their Christian values. They have always made sure I've gotten into the church, and I think that has really helped me stay positive throughout sports. If I didn't have them and I didn't have God in my life, I don't think I would have made it through sports as long as I did and as successful as I have. But they are always supportive, and other than making sure I always get to practice in every game and don't skip anything, they would be fine if I wanted to quit, but they ultimately wanted me to stay in it and keep working hard.
Well, your mom says, mission accomplished, Erin. We are so proud of you. That's great. That's awesome. And then Carla said, you're definitely a Schroer Volkart, best of both. And Becky said, proud aunt. So again, you got a lot of people that are proud of you. And yes, mission accomplished. Very well done. Why don't you talk a little bit about your grandparents? I know you mentioned them in there as well.
Okay. My grandma, Kathy Volkart, she is a beast athlete. Since she was young, she has always been setting records and keeping records, and not only that, but working hard on her parents' farm and just always doing the most. And she's amazing. And she's also a really, really great Christian. And so that has also positively influenced me in my life. I was always at grandma's house eating her food that she worked so hard to cook and just spending time with grandma. But grandpa also is a really, really, or was a good athlete. And he has that push to him that he always is making sure that we're doing our
Hmm.
best and that we make him proud. So,
Very good. It's good to have family that are supportive and also competitive, because I want to bring up Joseph and Nolan. Talk about your brothers, and did you guys ever bang around on the court or out on the ball field? Did they take it
um,
easy on you? Did they ever take it easy on you?
no,
Okay.
no, they did not. They made in anything we played, and it wasn't only just like sports and anything that we played, video games, board games, random games that we made up, they would always make sure that I lost.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. What happened when you won?
they, oh, oh,
Yes.
specifically one time, in Mario Kart, I won in front of the whole school to prove
Okay.
that I was better than them, and they still deny it, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
They just pretend like I'm not.
right here and right now, it's going to be on the internet for a very long time, and you can bring up clips and remind them over and over again. You just feel free to do that.
Oh, yeah, I will, for sure.
Awesome. Let's see. Tell us about, in your article, you did mention about your faith. What's that look like, and what are some of the things that you're wanting to do in your future with school? And I know you mentioned missions trips as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so, um, I have been a Christian for a very long time. It started, which is kind of ironic if you think about it, because my faith, I got saved through this camp called Sports Crusaders, which
Hmm.
is a
Hmm.
Sorry, I saw a comment.
No, you're good.
It's a camp for little kids to learn about Jesus,
Hmm.
but be surrounded by sports all day. So it's just a day camp for like 5 days a week, and you go and you play sports and you learn about God, and that's really what kick-started my whole faith. The combination of the two. But I have grown since then, and I have realized and I've come more serious about my faith. So I chose to go to College of the Ark, close to Branson,
Hmm.
because it is a good Christian college, and I will be able to find some good Christian friends there and really just grow in my faith.
Okay. And
And yes, for those,
go ahead.
sorry,
No, you're good. Go ahead.
for those mission trips, I went on a mission trip to Mexico when I was between 7th and 8th grade,
Hmm.
and I loved everything about it. I loved the plane ride. I loved the local people there that we got to help out. I loved being able to make a difference in some other people's lives who are maybe less fortunate. And we are hopefully planning to do a mission trip this summer too.
Okay. Very good. You so you talked about that making a difference in people's lives there, and I want to just quickly move on into that as far as at school. Um, with your faith and who you are as a person, how have you tried to make a difference in the lives of your classmates, teachers, so on? How have you done that?
Um, well, if I'm being honest, I personally feel like I haven't done as good of a job as I could have done. This year is the year that I really stepped up in that, and that's like I said earlier. I led a fifth quarter event that is a Christian event, and God really put it on my heart to start acting out of His faith. So
Mhm.
I was growing my entire high school career, but privately I was growing with Him, and
Mhm.
so this year He's really been like, you need to step out and show more people like what you're about and what I'm about.
It's important. For me dealing with youth, all the number of years that I did in ministry, as well as through the magazine, and now as a pastor as well. It's important to be able to recognize people and to just give them a friendly smile or greeting. I always told uh, the different students that I interacted with, I always told them, you do not know what that person dealt with before they got here today. You don't know if they had a mom or dad that was abusive to them. You don't know if they had some bad news that they got over a phone call before they came in. You don't know if they were thinking about suicide, or they were depressed or anything like that. And then when people come to school and somebody's mean to them, that might be the one thing that pushes them over the edge. So I mean, obviously you see lots of different people that come into your school every day, and um, it's challenging, because what we try to do is we try to think about, you know, when we're growing up, we're thinking about ourselves a lot, but it is challenging, and it sounds like God's been putting it on your heart to really um, love others as He's loved you. So
Yes, he
that's
has.
good. So, what do you take as far as being your favorite moment at Russellville High School, or some of your favorite moments?
Oh, I I don't know. I haven't really got a chance to think about this today. I've thought, but there's just mm, I don't know.
Okay.
There's
Well,
been
what
so many times that I could say that were my favorite, but as a specific one, I'm not really for sure on that.
mhm. What do you want to be remembered for?
I hope to be remembered for the Christian girl. Honestly, I want to be the one that people were like, "Oh, she was nice, and I know that she loved God, so He must mean something to her."
Hmm.
Um, and I also just want to be remembered as someone who really enjoyed their life and had fun no matter what.
Hmm. What would you say to your teachers and administration?
Thank you for putting up with my endless conversations and sometimes sassiness. But Yes, thank you for always pushing me and helping me through.
It's good. I think you will probably have continued relationships with those people as you come back from school. What when I didn't ask this, what are you going to play softball at College of the Ozarks?
I'm not. I decided that my I'd rather have my identity in different things and get more serious about like my relationship in God than
Hmm.
keep pursuing sports, but I will for sure stay active.
Okay. You will probably just have in your, um, I guess you would say, daily routine, just some of those conditioning drills that you did from basketball. You probably have that in your back pocket.
No,
No?
not even
Okay.
close.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and do something. I like doing this at the end of every program, just some short, quick, fun answers, just to get a little bit more information. Anybody can chime in on this because I'm sure there's going to be some comments here. But Perry also said, Easton says, hi, Erin. Perry Cook said that.
Hi,
So that's good.
Easton.
Good. Okay, so here we're going to get to it right away. What is your favorite go-to snack or food after a basketball or softball game?
Fried potatoes.
Fried potatoes. Okay, homemade fried
Yes.
potatoes.
Yes, specifically my grandma Kathy's.
Okay, what do you put on those fried potatoes?
Salt.
Salt.
Nothing
Okay,
else.
all right, that's good. That's all right because that means it's a standalone dish that you don't need to add anything to it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, here comes the one where you might get some comments or some flack for maybe giving a certain answer. But what is the one chore that you cannot stand doing around the house and why?
Uh, um, taking care of my dad's dog.
Oh, okay. So we have something in common. I want to hear about that. Tell me about that.
um, when I was younger, I liked animals, and my dad wanted to get a hunting dog, so we got a hunting dog, and he wanted to make sure that me and my brothers had responsibility, and we didn't really have much other chores around the house. So we had to take care of the dog, and my brothers used to do it. And then I got old enough and they left, so now I am the only one who does
Hmm.
it. So I do
Hmm.
it morning and night.
Yeah. Now you're talking about taking care of it. Do you have to walk the dog around? Do you have to do any of that?
I probably should, but I just
Just feed.
water it. My dad is the one who he yeah, he takes her out to run.
Okay. Okay. So here's the problem that I had with having dogs, and we had them for forever. We don't have any animals right now, um, especially since my wife and I are so busy with everything that we do now with pastoring a church and all that. But taking the dog out to go to the bathroom, that was, I'm just going to say that was not one of my favorite things to do, especially when it's raining or snowing and it's cold out and the dog just wouldn't do its business. I don't know about you, but that,
Yeah. Our dog she's an outside dog, so she stays outside. But I do have
okay,
to scoop her poop sometimes.
okay.
And taking care of her, I have to walk through our yard. So through the snow, through the rain, all of that.
Mom, Dad, do you hear that? Do you hear the suffering that your daughter is doing? That's great. All right. Um, what would be the one place that you would like to go if you could go anywhere in the world? Money was not an object. Where would you like to go and why?
Everywhere. I want to go on a world tour, but I think number one on my list right now would be Sweden actually.
Okay.
I have seen pictures and I've heard things that it's really peaceful there and it's really really beautiful. So I
Hmm.
think I really want to go there.
Okay. All right. You may not. So you may not have a superhero that you think, but if you were to compare yourself on the softball field with a superhero, which one would it be and why?
On a softball field,
Yeah. Like your
I think
attitude out there.
yeah. Um, ooh, I don't know.
Speak up, family. Speak up, family. We need to hear this.
Um, I don't know about softball, but like I would say basketball would be like kind of like Elastigirl because she could
Okay.
just like stretch her arms way out.
All right. Being able to steal the ball. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Uh, I'm just going to leave it up to you. Anything that you would like to say to close out the program that you would want to share with anybody, family or school, whatever,
Um, can I pray?
you absolutely can.
Alrighty, I'm gonna pray.
Okay. Okay.
Dear God, thank you for this wonderful day, and thank you for allowing me to impact the people in my high school and the people maybe of the world, of the community. I want to thank you for this opportunity to talk with Kirk and how smoothly it went. And I want to praise you for everything that you've done in my life. And I hope that you will continue to bless me in everything that I do. And please help me in my journey as I grow with you and become a better Christian for you. Amen.
Okay. So now I'm going to pray for you if that's okay.
Of course.
All right. Father, I just thank you right now. I just lift up Erin to you. And Lord, I thank you for her heart and her desire to be a witness for you. Lord, I just pray that you would just continue to reveal to her more and more each day of who you are and who she is with you and her. Lord, I pray that you would give her opportunities to share your love with others. Lord, give her an extra portion of compassion for those that need to hear the good news. Father, give her those opportunities to share that. And Lord, I just pray that you would bless her and her family and their health, their finances, their relationships. Lord, we thank you for them and thank you for the opportunity to interview her tonight. And we pray your blessing on her in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, you have somebody else said something real quick. We'll finish out with those comments. Becky said Flash. She was comparing you to Flash, the Flash superhero. So you're fast. I told you, I knew you had to be fast. Let's see. And then Ben said, "Beyond proud, kiddo. Love you, super, sugar bear." And then your mother said, "Amen." And Patty Smith said, "So proud of you, Erin." So, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Erin, if you'll hold on after I close out the program, just want to visit with you real quick. But it's been an honor to have you on here, and we're looking forward to hearing about the good things that you're going to be doing as you go on and spreading the good news for the kingdom. Very excited about that. Let's see, one
Yes,
more.
me
Carla
too.
said, "Go, girl, girl of God. He has great things in store for you." All right. Well, if you hold on, I will be right back in just a moment, okay? Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. What a wonderful young lady that we had on the program tonight, Erin Schroer from Russellville High School. As you can tell, she has a heart for people, and I'm excited to see the good things that God's going to do through her. So um, that's it for the program tonight. Join us next week on One Nation of Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. I'm your host, Kirk DeMars. Thanks for joining us. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.